Not just a building up in smoke, but entire histories too. It took 200 years for Brazil's National Museum to collect its treasures and one night for it all to go up in flames. And with it, the work of hundreds of researchers, some who ran to try and save what they could. It seems like a nightmare, says historian Regina Dantas. I went to sleep thinking it was a nightmare, that I was going to wake up from it. Her nightmare very much a reality this morning. Where once there were 20 million artifacts, today, only rubble.
It's the most important scientific institution, I think in Brazil, in all Brazil.
Paleontology researcher Roberta Veronese says she can't begin to estimate the loss. The museum housed impressive and irreplaceable Egyptian and Greco-Roman collections. It had also recently added restored pieces from another infamous inferno, Pompeii. But in this modern era, there is technology to prevent fire. And yet, the museum didn't have the funding to install sprinklers, a fact that angers anthropologist Luis Fernando Dias Duarte, who lost his entire library in the blaze.
I am sure the national government is responsible because they did not approve of the funding. We have permanently asked for the maintenance of the structure of the museum.
Anger at the government spilled over today. This time, not smoke, but pepper spray in the air, as some tried to push past the barricades to get a closer look at what had been lost. Sometimes loss is hard to describe.
It's a family. The museum is our home. We are happy there. You know, it's not a work, not a hard research. It's pure joy.
Today, a museum that brought so many together to learn about their past brought Brazilians together once again to fight for it. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
As you just heard, the museum was home to 20 million artifacts. While a full sense of the damage isn't known yet, here's a look at some of the treasures held within those walls. There's Louisa. At about 12,000 years old, hers is believed to be the oldest human skull found in the Americas. Then there are the mummified remains from Brazil and Egypt. The museum is also home to uniquely Brazilian creatures like the long-necked dinosaur Maxacallosaurus. 65,000 fossils had been gingerly cataloged at the museum, as were indigenous artifacts, even audio recordings from rare and disappearing indigenous languages from all over Brazil. And then there's this meteorite, at one point the largest ever discovered. Those tracking every loss, every development on Twitter suggest the meteorite may have survived, but historians are bracing for some devastating losses. Museums around the world now sending messages of support and, frankly, grief.